In industrial relations, the main concept we studied, we are discussing the relationship between the employee and employer. So what management is doing, what employees are doing, what, what government is doing, what different organization is doing, all that related to the dispute happening between the employee and employer. Sometimes the dispute happens between the employee, between the employer or employee with government. So any kind of things, any kind of dispute, any kind of relations occurring between all these parties are considered to be industrial dispute. To resolve that, we have so many things. And we started discussion of ILO, International Labour Organization. This is an international organization which is mainly constructed to safeguard the labor section of the world. International Labour Organization, ILO. So what we'll study here, what are the component of ILO, what is the objective, what is the scope, what are the main advantages and disadvantages, what it does, what is the function of ILO. We'll understand that in this chapter. This is under United Nations and set up and started during 1919. It is a tri-party system. Tri-party means there are three parties involved. One is employee, employer, and government. And 187 member state. This 187 is nothing but the country. These number of countries are member of the ILO. It was established in 1919 and 187 member currently they are in ILO. This will be our objective questions. The emphasis on tripartites, which aims to ensure that any dialogue on labor-related issues involves the three main stakeholders, namely employer, employees, and the government, state, is a fundamental aspect of the ILO function. So, including these three, the ILO was formed to safeguard the laborer. When I say safeguard the laborer, means laborers are so many issues. The issues may be related to their religion, related to their sex, related to their age, related to their location. So there should not be any issues based on that. There should not be any discrimination based on their. If someone is a woman employee, so what provision we should follow? What is the facility we are giving during maternity time? What is the time? What is the rules and regulations we have for overtime, shift time, night shift, day shift, etc.? What is the minimum wage we are providing? What is the minimum age we have for employment? So all these things is there in the rule. So ILO is also controlling these things. These tips we studied in the last class. We discussed when it was set up, who is the Director General, where is the head office. We studied all this. There are three components of ILO. How this ILO is structured. What is the organizational structure? The International Labour Conference, governing bodies, International Labour Office. There are three. These three you remember. These three are main structure of ILO. What is the main function of ILO? Sometimes before I was telling that to safeguard the labor, that is the main function. Creation of coordination of policies and programs, whatever coming from different commission. Yesterday we were talking, last class we were talking about National Commission and their reports, their observation. So those observations are becoming law. Creation and coordination of policies. So who is making ILO is making different policies, different rules, different regulations, and the input is taking from different commission, different analysis, adoption of international labor standard, different standards it has to adopt, assistance to member state. Whoever are the member of the organization, that 187, to provide all the support and assistance to member state. Human rights protection, the right to work, freedom, association. ମଣିଷର ଯେଉଁ ମୂଳ ଦାବି ଅଛି, ମୂଳ human rights ଅଧିକାର ଅଛି, right to work, right to speak, collective negotiation, protection against forced labor, protection against discrimination, etc. So all the human rights protection ILO is taking a resource and publication. Research for any area, if ILO is doing the research, so what is the outcome of that research? What are the recommendations? What are the different articles, data? So publication is one area. ILO is also doing research and publication on labor, on different labor issue across world. Suppose in a particular country, laborer are very cheap. So why it is cheap? What is the root cause of that? So ILO is doing research and published some articles on that. So you will understand, you will see the data point, you will see the reason behind it, why the laborers are cheap in that country. That is one function of ILO. So there are different functions given here. Objectives to promote and realize standards and fundamental principles and right at work to create greater opportunity for women and men, secure decent employment to ensure the coverage effectiveness of social protection for all, to strengthen tripartite and social dialogue, more employment. These are the different objectives of ILO. One point you saw that this is providing greater opportunity for different class of people, different section of people, for women and men, to ensure decent employment and more employment. How people will work, how people will get job. ILO is also working to increase the employment of the organization. So that will help to increase the employment of the nation. These are the objective of ILO. Role of trade union at the ILO. This thing we also discussed. Trade union plays a crucial role in developing policies at the ILO. Worker groups presentation is drawn from National Trade Union Confederation. The Bureau of Workers' activities at the Secretary is dedicated to strengthening independent and democratic trade union so that can be better defend workers' right and interest. The International Trade Union Conference ITUC was to ensure that the fundamental workers' rights promoted by the ILO. So ILO is promoting some trade union, trade conference, and in international level, there are different organizations, different labor association, trade unions are representing those conference, and they speak about their workers' rights and how they promote, what are the problem they are facing, what are the possible solution they are applying, and they share with ILO because ILO is promoting those international conference and inviting all the trade union. So the main role of trade union is to participate different organization, different international organization which is conducted by ILO and represent the employees, the union is going to represent the employees in that organization, in that international conference to project their problem, project their struggling area, what the employees are facing. The based on that, the discussion, the ILO will recommend the possible solution. ILO sets international labor standards with convention which are ratified by member state. These are non-binding. Ratified means accepted. So, suppose the international labor standard, for example, there is a standard ILO mentioned that below 18 years no one will work. So internationally, you go to any country that will work. If this is international standard, in our country it's 18 years, maybe in some other country it is 16 years or 20 years. So country to country it varies. But if there is a rule is accepted by all the country and converted into international standard, that is what we are talking. ILO set international labor standard. So ILO is responsible for implementing that standard if required, so that everyone will follow, which are ratified by member state. So all the members who are there in the organization will accept that. This is what I was talking, National Commission of Labor. So when this commission happens, they recommend to government, they study one particular area where they do research. Out of that research, whatever the outcome, that will come as part of research and presented as a recommendation, as a rule, so that the country, the nation, or the ILO can implement that as part of international standard. We'll study this commission and how ILO is taking input from this commission in the next class. This class, you go through the ILO concept, ILO features, functions, and scope, what it does, how ILO is acting in the, how it's promoting in the different national, international conference, and different trade union are participating in different international conference and how they are presenting the rights, the obligation, the problem of the workers. And ultimately, those are converted into rules. Go through the ILO concept, then we'll we'll study the Labor Commission in the next class. We'll discuss that, we'll go through in detail and different area of commission, how they represent, how they present and recommend the different opinion, different solution to the organization and to the ILO. We'll discuss in the next class.